Good day, and thanks for stopping by GardenStateWeather.com, New Jersey and the northern mid-Atlantic region's weather news portal. I'm forecaster Robert Smith, and this is the daily video forecast discussion for Wednesday, April 18th, 2012. And we'll start things out this morning with the Mid-Atlantic Infrared Channeled Satellite Loop. And we find a disturbance along a cold front that passed well to our south and east. This low-pressure area over the southeastern United States is spilling in high-level southwesterly winds in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, and that's why we have mid and upper-level cloudiness moving across the region of New Jersey and New York. But there's some breaks in the clouds, and there'll be a few more clouds that make it in and out of the region during today. Meanwhile, we're predominantly being dominated by generally high pressure, and winds this morning are all from the north as a secondary boundary passed through this evening. High pressure is going to be in control of our weather. The air is relatively dry in the mid and lower levels of the atmosphere and will remain so, but some of this cloud cover during today will get in and out of here, so it's going to be a variable to considerably cloudy day. There'll be some breaks of sunshine too, but we're not expecting much in the way of any precipitation with this, and we'll explain why in just a moment. Temperatures this morning are starting out basically on the chilly side. Temperatures this morning are in the mid and upper 40s, actually, to the lower 50s, and that's pretty much near normal, around 50 in the New York City area, and that's pretty much normal for this time of the year at sunrise. As we can see this morning, the wind speeds at around 7 o'clock this morning are generally less than 10 miles an hour, and all the winds are in from the north as high pressure is in control of our weather. Latest Doppler radar is showing some of that rain across the Virginias and back towards the south and central eastern United States this morning. But most of this precipitation on the north end is drying as it reaches dry ground and dry mid and upper levels of the atmosphere this morning. So outside of maybe a scattered shower across the extreme southern zones during this afternoon, we're probably not going to see much in the way of appreciable accumulable precipitation during today or tonight or tomorrow. Here's our weak surface front that passed through across the region this morning, and some light scattered showers across the Appalachians all the way down through the Virginias this morning. High pressure in control across southeastern Canada, bringing a light north to northeast flow of air across the region this morning in through this evening. And the NAIR-MORPH model reflectivity composite forecast going in for this morning across the northern and mid-Atlantic coast states. We see that most of the cloud cover today will be of the mid and high level variety, and some areas the cloud cover will be a little bit more overcast, while other areas will see breaks of sunshine across northern New Jersey and even parts of central and southern New Jersey from time to time. So it's a variable to considerable cloud cover. Most of the denser overcast clouds will be from central Jersey, South Jersey, and from time to time some of those clouds will obscure the sky, but for the most part it should be a variable to considerably cloudy day with breaks here and there. The rainfall that you're looking at across the region will be drying up as it gets closer and over the top of us, and eventually the clouds will begin to break. As that disturbance moves further to the south and east off the coast, high pressure moves off the coast, and then our winds become more of a variable direction, eventually becoming more southerly during tomorrow. We have a cold front which is building in across the upper Great Lakes and southeastern Canada over the next 24 to 48 hours, and this cold front will remain to our west as high pressure continues in control of our weather on Thursday, with a lot more sunshine and temperatures getting back into the lower 70s. Now, it has been a quite mild day. In fact, it was near record breaking in some areas on Monday with temperatures in the upper 80s to around 90. We got to around the upper 70s and even a few lower 80s yesterday, but today won't be anything like that. We'll probably see temperatures rising back into the 60s, tonight back into the 40s, and then by tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon, as the clouds become less and actually mostly sunny skies anticipated for Thursday, temperatures getting back up well into the 70s across a good chunk of the area. It's going to be a beautiful day on Thursday. As we get closer to Thursday night, skies become clear still, just a few scattered clouds. Here comes our cold front, and this cold front is going to probably stall across the region, across southeastern Canada, across the upper tier of New York State, and back down through the west of the Ohio Valley. And generally a partly cloudy to clear weather anticipated for Friday, with temperatures getting back into the 70s, and then the forecast problem comes up for this weekend. And while the pattern will become basically progressive over the next couple of days. It's going to become more buckled and definitely more problematic as we get into the weekend from Saturday through Monday. There's a lot of uncertainty into not only the placement of the rainfall that I talked about in my email discussion 2 days ago, but also the amount of rainfall depending on how the atmosphere actually sets up. Going to the forecast progs of temperatures, weather, and fronts for Wednesday night into Thursday morning. High pressure is generally going to be in control. Skies should begin to clear out during tonight or tomorrow morning, and skies will be mostly sunny, and very mild conditions will be anticipated for Thursday. On the surface, high pressure will be located directly over on top of us. Low pressure and a weak cold frontal boundary across the southeastern United States coast. And across Hudson's Bay, Canada, and southeastern Canada, we find this disturbance with a front approaching and passing through the Great Lakes. As we get through the day on Thursday morning, again, high pressure in control. The weak frontal boundary off the Carolina coast down through Florida remains nearly stationary. High pressure in control of our weather. And then the frontal boundary that was over southeastern Canada begins to snake its way slowly towards the Great Lakes and passes very slowly above the border as low pressure begins to develop across the central and high plains. As we get through the weekend, things get interesting because high pressure will be located off the coast with a south to southwest wind. High pressure also developing and ridging across. And generally fair weather is going to be anticipated for Friday with lots of sunshine, temperatures getting back on a southwest flow, back into the 70s in many areas away from the water. Then comes the frontal boundary. It gets very close to the area, passing through central and New York and central and eastern Pennsylvania by Saturday morning. And this front will become nearly stationary according to the latest progs. And that's where the problem begins. We're going to have an area of high pressure, strong ridging building in from Hudson's Bay, Canada. And on the south side of this front across the deep south near Louisiana, an upper low is going to develop. So we're going to have a split flow between the polar and subtropical jet streams coming up for this weekend, and the models are going to have a hard time figuring out what to do. Right now they're trying to pass the front off the coast and make it into a baroclinic zone or coastal front, and this is going to be during the day on Sunday. Now these progs were done yesterday afternoon for the extended, so they'll probably be updated on their site later this afternoon. As we get into the day on Sunday, the winds are going to become more variable and onshore, and according to the latest prog, surface low pressure will then develop across the southeast, move off the coast, and right now the latest progs are keeping this frontal boundary, this coastal front, further enough offshore to preclude the amount of heavy precipitation inland. Now these are just the initial progs. And then, of course, the two areas merge together. The southern trough and the northern trough streams merge together across southern New England with drying conditions and very brisk conditions by Monday afternoon through Tuesday. Now, what we're not showing you, what I am trying to show you here is the GFS model, and this is the last night's run now for Monday's time period around 7 o'clock in the morning. Upper features, we find the trough across the south lifting and the upper closed low across the Great Lakes. These two are going to merge over the northeast. Surface low pressure here, very indicative along the coast. And look at this on the lower right-hand side panel. Periods of rain as the flow becomes basically parallel to the upper steering flow of the jet. So if we have that, we're going to have orographic lifting, and that's going to cause considerable periods of rain around here, probably from Saturday night through Monday morning. Now, it won't be raining heavy everywhere, but the idea between the modeling, and there's a lot of disparity in the modeling this time into the future, is the amount of rainfall and the orientation of the winds, and also where that frontal boundary lies. If it's further offshore, probably only certain locations to the north and east will see the heavier rain, and other areas will just see widely scattered showers. It's very too early to tell, and the modeling will have to come into better agreement before I can even discuss amounts of precipitation across the region from the period Sunday through early Monday. One thing is for certain, after this powerhouse moves to the northeast and off the coast on Monday night and Tuesday, the winds are going to howl around from the northwest. So Tuesday is going to be a much drier day, much cooler day, and potentially a very windy day as well. So that's going to do it. That's going to wrap it up for today. On Wednesday, I'll be back on Thursday. Hopefully the models will have a better handle on the situation, the orientation, and placement of surface and upper level features for this upcoming weekend's rain, because we definitely need it. We're 5 to 7 inches below normal, and we could definitely use some of the rainfall this weekend. I'll get into the finer details as things become clearer in the forecast models during tomorrow. For GardenStateWeather.com, I'm forecaster Robert Smith. You make it a pleasant day.